they will just eat, and after that maybe they will have some dessert or some fruits as a pencuci muka. Pencuci mulut, sorry. Pencuci mulut. Sorry guys. Hello everyone, welcome back to the fourth episode of My Fine Diet Podcast.
Yeah.
We aim to bring sustainable dietary healthy dietary behavior for everyone. So yes, so basically this previous episode we share our opinion about like eating healthy while we travel in Europe back then 2 years ago, 2022. So maybe this episode we will talk more about in terms of the food culture and also what do you think about Europe in general, right? Maybe let's start with the first question first. So we've been to 11 countries in total, right? So I would say maybe
actually we forgot to mention we also went to Vatican City.
Yeah, the
Even though I don't know whether it's considered a country or not.
It is considered a country, right? But it's a very small region. It's just in between. Yeah, there's no border or whatnot. It's just masuk. Then consider, oh, you're in another country already.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So out of the 11 countries, including Vatican, how do you think about Europe in general?
I wouldn't say it's super expensive.
Okay.
Not all countries are expensive for me. Because one thing when we are traveling, I don't think one thing that I usually practice when I travel is that I understand that we let's say earn in ringgit, right? And our money is smaller than in Europe, for example.
Yeah.
But then when we travel, for me personally, I tried my best not to convert the money to ringgit, even though sometimes I couldn't, avoid that to happen. But in general, I feel like if let's say I'm a European, like I work in Europe, I earn in Euro, I don't think it's like super duper expensive. But it's also depending on the city. Yeah, I think certain city, like example, Budapest, it's very cheap.
Almost middle part of Europe. Yeah, the expenses is actually much lower than West.
But they don't use euro. They use I forgot already. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But basically, Hungary is part of Europe as well, right? It's part of EU, right?
Yeah.
European Union.
Yeah.
So in general, it's for me. Not every cities are expensive. I think it's something that is affordable if you have a budget for that. And I feel like some of the cities are pretty similar. Yeah, it's like not a lot of time. Some of the country where we go, we're like, okay, let's go. It's like, okay, like that only. It's like, especially like macam Paris. Yeah, we are amazed to see, let's say, like a new building that we always see on the movie, right? Like Eiffel Tower, for example. But when we see that, we're like, okay, no.
This is tower, and kind of when we understand what they built the tower, especially because of one of the expo back then. To attract tourists.
So I feel like it's kind of like similar buildings, I would say. Kind of like the city you go, or you're gonna see, example like cathedral.
Yeah, cathedral.
Yeah, and then metro, and then a lot of like maybe coffee culture, for example. So it's like pretty similar in certain parts, maybe if you want to see something different, you go to maybe Italy. Yeah, if you go to Rome, it's really like a very, very ancient city. Yeah, but if let's say maybe you go to Amsterdam, Brussels, Paris, I don't know. I believe there are some differences, but in general, I feel like when I go to the third country with the similar kind of like places that we kind of like gonna visit, our cathedral, or remember the in Brussels, the small mannequin.
The mannequin.
The mannequin. I feel like those kind of things. Yeah. So I feel like not every places are like what we call that, like attractive enough for me to like wow. Yeah, I think it's just people romanticize Europe a lot until you go there, you see a lot of things that probably okay, Malaysia is better. Yeah, something like that. That makes me realize a lot about this thing. Yeah, another example is maybe train system. A lot of people always complain about our train system, da 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 da. If you travel more, you travel a lot, you will realize that we are not that bad. Yeah, the reason why, example, UK has a very extensive network, right? The tube, the underground system. They have built it maybe more than 50 years or 100 years ago, right? So of course, it is well connected. But Malaysia, we gained independence only like 50, 60 years ago, right? So how do we expect everything to be perfect? Yeah. And when it comes to the train on time or not on time, we have encountered several situations where the train was not on time. When we were in Italy, when we were in German. So it makes me like grateful more to be in Malaysia and to appreciate what we have instead of like we keep complaining. Yeah. So that makes me realize that it's not perfect lah. Easy to say at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that's for me somehow like perception, or maybe the question changed a bit more towards like realization lah.
Well, your realization from the trip.
Kind of.
Okay. Yeah. I think train system is something very on point. We even experienced the brain broke down somewhere. Then we have to wait under the very strong wind, remember? Yeah, coming back from Budapest. Yeah, so cathedral is one thing. My friend always tell me, "Ayo, you go Europe, go so many countries, you always see the same cathedral." But there are still a few cathedrals that caught the attention, and it is really beautiful. Yeah.
Example?
I think the one in Prague.
Oh.
Yeah, the one in Prague. That is the one of the cathedral that I remember, and the one in Milano, Duomo. Yes, there are a few still, but when we travel across a few countries, and basically I would say the historical backgrounds is pretty much similar, so you can see a lot of similar buildings. Yeah, but for me, the whole travel itself is it comprises of historical building, it comprises of city, it comprises of scenery, and it comprises for Venice. Venice is another special place there because it's like an old city but with canals, so it makes it very, very special. So I think Europe in general, on the trip itself, I managed to see a lot of different things, even though some of it is repetitive, but still because of the route that we took. So we managed to see a lot of different things.
Unless like that people really love architecture or arts or history, then maybe they would appreciate every single things that they see. But for me personally, I think it's just in terms of the objective of the mindset. Like when I travel, I feel like I'm more towards, I wanted to see how the locals like actually living their life, right? Those coffee culture, or like walking around, or maybe in Amsterdam they ride the bicycle. I feel like I love to see that more rather than seeing all this cathedral and stuff, all the history part, which I don't know why I'm not into that. It's just that I don't favor that much, because I remember we went to the Louvre.
I know what you want to say.
You can say.
Another thing is the Louvre. Like, let's say for some people who are very into arts and they studied all the things, right? So they will appreciate the Louvre. I think they can easily spend one day in the Louvre. But we bought a ticket as well. It is not cheap.
40 euro, I think.
I think, yeah. So we've been to it, but that time we are slightly rushing as well. So what I remember is the Mona Lisa. Yes.
For a small, but yeah, continue.
But yeah, that is one of a piece of art that is very famous, and so for us, initially I thought the museum would be interesting for me, but a lot of things they need the knowledge, as in like you need to have a very thorough understanding towards this piece of art, and when you see it, you will feel something. But when I go into the museum, I feel like, okay, so this is the mannequin, for example, and this is the picture. But I didn't have the time or chance even to like go deeper, because my brother is actually studying philosophy. When he look at this, right, he will know like, oh, this represents more and things like that. But so that is just not for me.
I thought it's for you, because ended up you were the one who like walk around in the Louvre, and I was sitting down because I got so bored.
I remember because only bought ticket so need to make use of it. But again, you ask me what is the takeaway or what is the things? The Mona Lisa,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's just our perception towards it. And in general, we love it. The
Still? Yeah,
experience,
yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
the excitement of going places. Like waking up in the morning. Oh, today we're gonna go to another city, and then the best part is that we don't usually plan ahead of time where to go in that city. We know where we want to go, but we don't know what kind of attractions that we want to go.
Mm.
Only in the train, example from Munich to Prague, then we were like, okay, let's look around what we can actually do or see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those kind of like spontaneous part of it, I think that's pretty nice to also experience.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we also see the differences in terms of, I mean, in general, just now we talk about like how our perception and everything.
Yeah.
But when we talk about our observation towards maybe in terms of the food culture or kind of thing, what kind of observation or experience that we actually had, and I think it's worth for us to share as well on this part, because there are certain things that is quite interesting for us to actually unfold it. Yeah. So what was the thing that you think is quite different over there compared to back in Malaysia?
I think. Oh, I remember already. One of it is regarding the allergen. Actually, yeah. So, as me myself, I'm actually allergic to certain food. So in Malaysia, I usually have to. I mean, because of the knowledge I have, so I kind of know what kind of food contain the allergen that I cannot take. So I will avoid that food. But when it comes to, let's say, for some people who do not have knowledge, doctor just tell them, okay, you are allergic to, for example, I don't know, allergic to garlic, for example. Yeah. So the person, if let's say they without any acknowledgement, if they eat outside, maybe they might feel confused or they might trigger the allergy. Yeah, you still remember when we were in UK? There's one Indian restaurant
Yeah, I
that we've been
remember
to
the
with
name
our friend. Yeah, Bishum. Dishum.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
You guys should try.
Yeah. So we went to that restaurant, and then when we read the menu, it's actually very clearly stated in terms of what is the allergen inside. Yeah, there's actually a lot of different type of allergen. Yeah, the common allergen, for example, like egg. Some people with gluten, with soy, with seafood, and etc. So to my surprise, they actually stated there. And when we asked about, do you remember we asked the waiter about like the comment about the allergen thingy? Yeah, the waiter said over there they take very serious towards.
No, actually, my friend.
Your
Our
friend is the one who asked.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, like he was the one who explained to us why it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that is something that in UK they take very serious towards. Yeah, so that to avoid any person like me with certain allergen, if they accidentally take some food that cause my allergic, then it wouldn't be nice.
I don't think it's just about it wouldn't be nice or what. It's also the legality issues, because if let's say they don't provide this allergen and you something happened to you, you can actually sue them, But if let's say they provide all of this information, at least they can say we have provided this information and you are the one who's not, example, looking deeper into it. I think that's the part that we should actually highlight from that experience, because they had like this one. I remember a small like book or something. They give to us the detail of that allergen information. Yeah.
Okay, remember.
Yeah.
I think the first page or it's in different booklet.
I think it's a different booklet or something that my friend actually asked from the waiter, and then the waiter. And then after that, my friend explained that it was because like people can actually sue the restaurant if let's say there is something happened to them. So that's why they need to be very thorough. Yeah.
But generally, I think it is still a very good initiative or move over there to let the consumer actually know what is the food that they should take or shouldn't take, or if contain any allergen. Because right, sometimes certain allergen, right, you won't see on the food, but maybe some of the sauce that they use, that is something that we don't know. Yeah, and this brings me back to one of the experience when I'm having my internship experience in one of the airline food service company. Over there, they also practice it very well because they are serving international passengers for all those big airline. So they have to label properly what is allergen. But again, when it comes to the generality, I don't think it is commonly practiced right now until this moment. Yes,
You're right. Yeah.
So that is what I think about the general food culture.
Yeah, I mean, like apart from those allergen stuff, what do you think also about, I don't know, the differences with Asian or like Malaysian diet? You know, those dessert and starter. Is that like a common thing there? You think?
Yeah, it's definitely a common thing because Western cuisine usually they will come with starter, like let's say get some salad and then go to your main dish, chops, fish and chips, for example, and then after that you can have some dessert. Yes, so they will have like 3 plate lah, I would say. So if let's say I compare with the culture in Malaysia,
Maybe Chinese food, Chinese cuisine or something.
if let's say I'm eating at Chinese restaurant, yeah, they will have 2 part because in Western we have 3 part, right? Like maybe some starter, salad, main dish, and dessert. But I think based on my experience, there will be first mixture of starter and main. They will order different dishes, then they will just eat, and after that maybe they will have some dessert or some fruits as a pencuci muka.
Pencuci
mulut, sorry. Pencuci mulut.
Sorry guys, that's so funny.
Sorry, pencuci mulut. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's very similar because when you come up, when you know you have to eat salad at first, you will make sure you get enough fiber intake, for example. But in Chinese restaurant usually, those people who don't take salad, they don't take vegetables, they will just avoid the vegetables because it is all on the table and then they can just take as they want. Yeah, I think that is the difference.
No, I think I remember now. I think it's in terms of the vegetarian and vegan stuff. I think it's quite easy maybe for a vegan people to actually like survive in Europe, you know, because the vegan restaurant is like everywhere. For example, like sometimes maybe for like a Muslim traveler, it's a bit hard for you to like find a halal restaurant, right? Then maybe the options is to go vegan, right? Or like seafood or whatever it is. So I think that's the part where I think when it comes to like vegan, it's quite easy to find. You know? So in general, I think it's because the awareness towards vegetarian or like vegan. Because I think before this, I saw some series or what, like they talk about, you know, like being when we eat meat, like you know, all those environment stuff. So there were a lot of things that is going on when it comes to vegetarian and vegan diet, which I think on the Western side of the world, it's quite common to see that everyone is like, oh, I'm a vegan or like I'm a vegetarian. So that's why when we go to like a restaurant, they must have like a clear state of the menu, like, oh, it's actually vegan, it's actually like a vegetarian, and they really you know, take it very serious when it comes to that. Yeah, so I think that's another thing that is quite common in Europe compared to like in Malaysia, because I do have friends who's a vegetarian and my friend is like not local, and then basically my friend is a vegetarian, and then he was telling me that it's basically easy for him to, example, be in Taiwan because he can actually get a lot of like vegetarian or like vegan options. But when in Malaysia, it might not be that easy. For example, because technically our food are all meat based, I would say, right? Though I think it's something that is going to change as well as we see more vegetarian options. You know, whenever we go something like with the V.
Sometimes with V, sometimes with a green leaf there.
The green leaf there. But I think that's that is also the influence of the Western world, I guess, because you know we have a tourist coming in, and then we know that most of these tourists coming in to contribute to our tourism economy. So people start to see the demand, right? So that's why they start to supply vegetarian or vegan diet, and there is a demand, so there's money, right? So that's why I think it's kind of like changing now. It's quite more open now. I wouldn't say this is open or closed thing. It's just more towards
it's evolving.
Yeah, it's evolving. So more choices for people who's like vegetarian or like vegan. And even for example like ice cream, it's a vegan ice cream, for example, because it's not made of like dairy products and stuff. So that's pretty much that. I think it's quite different, coming from a background where we are very meat based.
Yeah.
When it comes to our culture or food culture.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think there's another similarities that I think worth highlight as well in terms of food culture. You remember we actually taste a variety of cuisine, like not only Western, because in across our travel experience,
Yeah.
I would say the food culture is actually very diversified. We have Arabic food, the
Mm.
kebab, we have Chinese food, we have Korean food. Like the the food culture or cuisine from every other country is actually everywhere right now. So it wouldn't be as in you go to Europe, you can only take Western.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
remember?
I remember.
We miss Malaysian food, and we
Yeah.
go to one of the shops who is by Malaysian, right? We sell Malaysian
Oh,
food
in
in
Amsterdam.
UK, in Amsterdam as well. Yes,
Yeah.
Amsterdam, even though it is very expensive,
But my friend
yes.
paid it.
Thank you, friend. Yeah, so we can still, if let's say we don't opt for Western, like really Western diet, right? We can still go for Asian cuisine.
Because it's
Yes.
everywhere now.
Yes,
It's easy
correct,
to find.
correct.
I think even for halal food, it's quite everywhere now. Unless like we go for 1 week or 2 weeks and we felt that we wanted to bring all those pre-packed food. Yeah, of course we can do that. But I think it's kind of like not practical for a long term, because you will take a lot of spaces, and then you have to like carry around. So yeah, I mean, like it really depends on what kind of like behavior or like travel behavior that you have. It depends on your flexibility as well. But yeah, I would say that's kind of like the differences, but also the evolve that we can actually see the acceptance towards different kind of like diet, regardless it's meat or like vegetarian or like halal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like I would say everywhere now. It's not that hard anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. So everyone can travel in a way, right? Like you don't need to worry about the food choices.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about our episode this time around. It's about our travel experience in Europe. One of the best ever.
Wait, I think let's make it as in like how do we close this or end the sharing as in Maybe you can describe the Europe trip, okay, that we've been to together in one words. In one word, yeah. This is random.
I know. Probably. I don't know. Seriously, I think it's maybe courage. Yeah, courage. What about you?
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I actually thinking about YOLO, like as in is once in the lifetime, as in we are still still young, still in our 20s. So that is the experience that very significant over there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought of use YOLO, but courage is another one as well, because do receive a lot of comments or PM throughout the journey. Share us your itinerary. I want to be like you and things like that. So that is something took a lot of courage as well, because not everyone has the courage.
Yep, and you have to plan, properly, because you are going to another country.
Yes.
And then, accommodation, how you're gonna do the transport. We basically did all the planning. I think I remember we went in May, and then the border opened in April, and then we booked the flight somewhere in February, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then we booked everything somewhere in March. Yeah, and after that, after that only we started to like plan everything. The route, what kind of transportation, and everything. But yeah, in general, I think it's still related to courage and also YOLO mindset as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that we just finished. Not finished COVID. COVID was still there at that time.
Living with COVID.
Yeah, living with COVID after that, right? And we felt that it's been 2 years that we've been locked down, and why not just do it now? Like things are still quite cheap, I would say that time. People are still recovering from COVID.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was require us to have a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Yeah, to travel overseas. And
yeah. Okay, I think that will be pretty much about our episode.
Yep.
Right. And if you have any other interesting topic that you want to know from us, or you want us to share, just feel free to drop us a DM.
Yep. We are also happy to maybe dedicate one episode about our travel experience, because we love to share. We love to inspire people as well to travel, because you will see a lot of different perspective, insights, realizations, cultural differences. And I think those are the things that makes you be more grateful and humble as a human being. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much.
All right. So again, thank you for watching or listening until here. We are so grateful. You are part of the first group of audience with us. Yeah, because we are starting this up. So continue to give us your support, and see you